20 years may not sound like a long time, but think about how much the world has already changed. 20 years ago, smartphones barely existed. Social media was still in its infancy. Streaming had not yet replaced traditional television, and most people still carried separate cameras, maps, music players, and dozens of other objects that have now become almost unnecessary. Technology does not always announce its arrival. Sometimes it quietly enters our lives, becomes essential, and then causes something familiar to disappear. Over the next 2 decades, artificial intelligence, automation, biotechnology, electric transportation, and augmented reality could transform the world faster than almost any previous generation has experienced. Some things will vanish because they are inefficient. Others will disappear because they are replaced by something faster, cheaper, safer, or more convenient. And some may not disappear completely, but they could become so rare that future generations will see them in the same way we now see telephone booths, cassette tapes, and typewriters. These are 10 things that could disappear from everyday life within the next 20 years. Number 10. Paper receipts. The first disappearance may already be happening inside your wallet, your shopping bag, or the pocket of a jacket you have not worn for months. Paper receipts are everywhere. They are printed after supermarket purchases, restaurant meals, hotel stays, fuel payments, and almost every other transaction. Most of them are looked at once, if at all, before being thrown away. Yet billions of paper receipts are still produced every year, requiring paper, ink, transportation, and energy for something that often becomes waste within seconds. Over the next 20 years, the traditional receipt could be replaced almost entirely by digital records. Instead of receiving a strip of paper, purchases may automatically appear inside a secure digital wallet, banking application, or personal financial assistant. Artificial intelligence could organize every transaction, categorize spending, track warranties, detect unusual purchases, and even warn you when a product is eligible for a refund. Returning an item may no longer require searching through drawers for a faded receipt. The store could instantly recognize the purchase through your payment identity, digital account, or encrypted transaction history. Some retailers already offer digital receipts through email or mobile applications, but the future system could be far more automatic. Customers may not need to provide an email address, scan a loyalty card, or perform any additional action. The receipt would simply exist as part of the transaction. Paper versions may still be available in certain situations, especially for legal, accessibility, or personal reasons. But printing one could eventually become the exception rather than the standard. For future generations, finding an old paper receipt inside a forgotten coat pocket may feel like discovering a small artifact from another era. Number 9. Physical keys. For thousands of years, physical keys have represented access, ownership, and security. The metal key may soon become one of the next everyday objects to disappear. Modern vehicles are already moving away from traditional ignition keys. Many cars can now be unlocked and started through wireless key fobs, smartphones, or digital access systems. Hotels increasingly use mobile room keys. Offices rely on access cards, biometric scanners, and electronic identity systems. Homes are beginning to follow the same path. Within the next 20 years, doors may identify authorized users through a combination of facial recognition, fingerprints, wearable devices, and encrypted digital credentials. A smart home could recognize its owner before they even reach the entrance. The door might unlock automatically, adjust the lighting, activate climate controls, and prepare the house according to that person's preferences. Temporary access could also become easier. Instead of physically handing someone a spare key, a homeowner could send a digital permission that works only for a specific person on a specific day during a specific period of time. A delivery worker might receive access to a secure compartment, but not the rest of the building. A guest could enter for one weekend before their authorization automatically expires. Lost keys would no longer require replacing locks. A stolen digital credential could be cancelled instantly. However, replacing physical keys also creates new risks. A metal key cannot lose power, suffer a software failure, or become inaccessible because of a network outage. Future access systems will therefore need secure backup methods and strong protection against hacking. Physical keys may survive in older buildings, remote areas, and emergency systems. But for most people, the familiar sound of keys moving inside a pocket could gradually disappear. Number 8. Passwords. Passwords were supposed to protect the digital world. Instead, they have become one of its greatest frustrations. The average person now manages access to email accounts, bank accounts, streaming services, social networks, cloud storage, online stores, workplace platforms, and dozens of other systems. Each account demands a password. Some require capital letters, others require symbols, numbers, minimum lengths, frequent changes, and security questions that users often forget. As a result, many people reuse the same password across multiple services, choose combinations that are easy to guess, or store their login details in insecure places. The system is inconvenient for users and extremely attractive to criminals. Over the next 20 years, passwords could be replaced by technologies that confirm identity without requiring people to remember secret combinations. Biometric authentication is already becoming common. Phones can recognize faces and fingerprints. Some financial systems use voice recognition or behavioral patterns. Future devices may identify people through a combination of physical and behavioral signals. The way they hold a phone, the way they type on a keyboard, the way they move through a room, or the way they interact with a screen. Passkeys are also beginning to replace traditional passwords by using encrypted credentials stored on trusted devices. Instead of typing a password, the user confirms their identity through a fingerprint, face scan, security, device, or personal digital key. Artificial intelligence could make these systems even more adaptive. A security platform may constantly evaluate whether a user's behavior appears normal. If someone logs in from a familiar device, in a familiar location, and behaves as expected, access could be nearly invisible. But when the system detects something unusual, it may demand additional verification. The goal would not simply be greater convenience. It would be a digital world in which stealing a single piece of information is no longer enough to steal someone's identity. Passwords may continue to exist in older systems for years, but eventually, typing the words "forgot password" could become an experience that younger generations barely understand. Number 7. Checkout lines. For more than a century, the checkout counter has been the final step of almost every shopping experience. Customers select their products, wait in line, place everything on a counter, and complete the payment one item at a time. But this process exists mainly because traditional stores have no other way to determine who has taken what. That is beginning to change. Computer vision, shelf sensors, radio frequency identification, digital payment systems, and artificial intelligence are making it possible for stores to track products automatically. In the future, customers may enter a store using a digital identity, collect what they need, and simply leave. Cameras and sensors could recognize which items were removed, determine who selected them, calculate the total, and complete the payment automatically. There would be no need to scan barcodes, no need to unload a shopping cart, and no need to wait behind someone making a complicated return while the line continues to grow. Even physical shopping carts could become intelligent. A cart may identify products as they are added, display the running total, suggest recipes, highlight discounts, warn about allergies, and guide customers toward the next item on their shopping list. Smaller stores could become almost entirely autonomous, remaining open 24 hours a day with minimal staff. But the disappearance of checkout lines does not necessarily mean the disappearance of retail workers. Employees could move toward tasks that still require human judgment and interaction, helping customers, preparing fresh food, managing inventory, solving technical problems, and creating a better shopping environment. There will also be serious questions about privacy, surveillance, employment, and what happens when automated systems make mistakes. A cashier can listen when a customer explains that they were charged incorrectly. An algorithm may be less understanding. Traditional checkout counters will probably remain in some locations. But within 20 years, waiting in line to pay for something may feel as outdated as waiting in line to develop photographs, Number 6. Gas stations as we know them. Gas stations have shaped modern transportation for more than a century. They occupy valuable land beside highways, inside cities, and across suburban neighborhoods. Their design is instantly recognizable. A large illuminated canopy, rows of fuel pumps, price signs, and a small convenience store. But the transition toward electric vehicles could completely transform what these locations are used for. Electric cars do not need gasoline, and unlike conventional vehicles, they do not always need to visit a dedicated fueling station. They can charge at home, at work, inside parking garages, or wherever charging infrastructure is available. This means many drivers may begin each day with a full battery without ever making a special trip to refuel. As electric vehicles become more common, traditional gas stations could face declining demand. Some may close. Others may evolve into something entirely different. Future roadside stations could contain ultra-fast chargers, battery swapping systems, restaurants, workspaces, automated vehicle cleaning, and maintenance services designed specifically for electric, autonomous vehicles. Because charging can take longer than filling a fuel tank, these locations may focus less on rapid transactions and more on creating useful places to spend 10 or 20 minutes. Drivers could eat, shop, work, or relax while their vehicles charge. In cities, former gas stations may be transformed into apartment buildings, parks, delivery hubs, or charging centers for fleets of autonomous vehicles. And if self-driving cars become widespread, vehicles may travel to charging locations on their own during periods of low demand. The passenger may never see the station at all. Gasoline will not disappear everywhere within 20 years. Millions of combustion engine vehicles will remain on the road, especially in regions where charging infrastructure develops more slowly. Heavy machinery, aviation, shipping, and remote transportation may also continue using liquid fuels or alternative energy sources for much longer. But the traditional gas station could begin a major decline. The place that once represented freedom, mobility, and the open road may become another reminder of the fossil fuel era. Paper receipts, metal keys, passwords, checkout lines, and traditional gas stations are all deeply connected to everyday life. But their disappearance would only change how we complete familiar tasks. The next 5 could transform something much bigger: how we communicate, how we travel, how we work, and even how we experience reality itself. Because the closer we move toward the number 1 position, the more difficult it becomes to imagine a world without the technologies we use today. And yet, within the next 20 years, that world may become completely normal. Number 5. Physical cash. For thousands of years, physical money has been one of the foundations of civilization. Coins allowed ancient societies to trade across enormous distances. Paper currency made wealth easier to transport. And for generations, cash has represented something simple, immediate, and universally understood. But physical money is now facing competition from a system that is faster, more convenient, and increasingly invisible. Digital payments have already transformed the way people buy products and services. A phone, smartwatch, payment card, or biometric identity can complete a transaction in seconds. In many cities, people can spend an entire day shopping, traveling, eating, and working without touching a single coin or banknote. Within the next 20 years, cash could become rare in much of the developed world. Future payment systems may no longer require cards or phones. A store could recognize a customer's encrypted identity and process the purchase automatically. A person might confirm a transaction through their face, fingerprint, voice, or wearable device. Artificial intelligence could manage payments in the background, selecting the most efficient account, currency, or financial service without requiring the user to make a decision. Digital currencies issued by governments could also become more common. Unlike cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, these currencies would be backed and controlled by central banks. They could allow money to move instantly between individuals, businesses, and government institutions. International payments that currently take several days could happen in seconds. But the disappearance of cash would create serious concerns. Physical money can be used without electricity, internet access, or permission from a digital platform. It offers a level of privacy that electronic transactions often do not. Every digital payment can potentially produce a record containing information about where a person went, what they purchased, and when the transaction occurred. A completely cashless society could also exclude people who lack access to banking services, smartphones, or reliable digital infrastructure. And during cyber attacks, technical failures, or natural disasters, physical money can continue functioning when electronic systems do not. For these reasons, banknotes and coins may never vanish completely. They may remain as emergency backups, legal protections, or symbols of national identity. But their role could change dramatically. Cash may become something people keep for unusual situations rather than something they use every day. Future children may recognize banknotes from museums, movies, or old family collections without regularly using them themselves. Number 4. Traditional television. For decades, television shaped the rhythm of everyday life. Millions of people watched the same programs at the same time. Families gathered around a single screen. Major events could bring entire countries to a stop, and broadcasters decided what audiences would watch, when they would watch it, and how long they would have to wait for the next episode. That world is already disappearing. Streaming services have replaced scheduled programming for millions of viewers. Almost anything, at any time, on almost any device. But the next phase could transform entertainment even more dramatically. Within 20 years, traditional television channels may become increasingly irrelevant. Instead of choosing between a limited number of programs, every person could receive an entertainment experience designed specifically for them. Artificial intelligence may create personalized news summaries, documentaries, educational programs, and fictional stories based on an individual viewer's interests. Two people could request the same type of program and receive completely different versions. A historical documentary might adjust its level of detail based on the viewer's knowledge. A sports broadcast could automatically focus on a favorite player. A news program might translate itself into any language while preserving the original speaker's voice. Even fictional entertainment could become interactive. Viewers might enter a story through virtual or augmented reality, explore its environment, communicate with artificial characters, and influence what happens next. Instead of simply watching a movie, audiences could experience a world that responds to their decisions. Traditional studios and broadcasters may continue producing major events, premium films, and carefully crafted series. But the idea of waiting until a specific time to watch a predetermined program could feel increasingly outdated. Television itself may survive as a large display inside the home. But traditional television, with its fixed schedule, limited selection, and one-way broadcast, could largely disappear. Entertainment will no longer begin when a channel decides to show it. It will begin whenever the viewer is ready. Number 3. Human drivers. For more than a century, driving has represented freedom, independence, and personal mobility. Learning to drive is considered a major milestone in many countries. Cars are designed around the assumption that a human being will sit behind the wheel, observe the road, make decisions, and control the vehicle. But humans are not perfect drivers. They become tired, they become distracted, they react emotionally, they misjudge distances, ignore warnings, and sometimes make fatal decisions in a fraction of a second. Autonomous vehicles promise a different system. A self-driving car can use cameras, radar, LiDAR, satellite navigation, and artificial intelligence to continuously analyze its environment. It does not need to look away from the road. It does not become impatient, and it can potentially communicate with other vehicles and transportation infrastructure in real time. Within the next 20 years, human driving could begin disappearing from certain parts of everyday life. The transformation may start with commercial transportation. Autonomous trucks could travel long highway routes between logistics centers. Self-driving taxis could operate inside carefully mapped urban areas. Delivery vehicles might transport packages without a human driver. Public transport systems could become increasingly automated. As the technology improves, private vehicles may follow. A passenger could enter a destination, begin working, watch entertainment, or sleep while the car handles the journey. Cities could redesign roads around autonomous traffic. Vehicles might travel closer together, coordinate intersections without traditional traffic lights, and automatically select routes that reduce congestion. Parking could also change. A self-driving car would not need to remain near its passenger. It could drop someone off, travel to a remote parking area, recharge itself, or continue serving other users. But fully replacing human drivers will be extremely difficult. Roads are unpredictable. Weather can hide markings and sensors. Construction zones change without warning. Pedestrians, cyclists, animals, and human drivers can behave irrationally. Autonomous systems must be able to handle rare situations that may not have appeared in their training. Data. There are also legal and ethical questions. When an automated vehicle causes an accident, responsibility could fall on the passenger, manufacturer, software company, or infrastructure provider. And millions of people currently earn a living by driving trucks, taxis, buses, and delivery vehicles. Automation could disrupt those jobs on an enormous scale. Human driving will almost certainly continue as a hobby, a sport, and a necessity in remote regions. But inside major cities and on highly automated highways, manually controlling a vehicle may eventually be restricted. Future generations could view human-driven traffic in the same way we now view transportation before. Seat belts, traffic signals, and modern safety systems. Driving may no longer be something everyone is expected to learn. It could become something people choose to do only in designated places. Number 2, the traditional office. For generations, office work has followed a familiar pattern. Employees travel to the same building, sit at assigned desks, work during fixed hours, attend meetings, and then travel home. This structure was created during an era when communication was physical, information was stored on paper, and workers needed to be located near the equipment and documents required to do their jobs. Most of those limitations no longer exist. Cloud computing allows people to access information from almost anywhere. Video conferencing connects teams across continents. Artificial intelligence can summarize meetings, organize schedules, translate conversations, create presentations, analyze data, and automate administrative tasks. Within 20 years, the traditional office could become far less important. Companies may no longer need enormous buildings filled with permanent desks. Instead, they could use smaller collaborative spaces that employees visit only when physical presence provides a clear benefit. Routine individual work may happen from homes, local work hubs, shared studios, or almost any place with a reliable connection. Virtual reality could eventually make remote collaboration feel more natural. Instead of appearing as small rectangles on a screen, employees may enter shared three-dimensional workspaces. They could examine digital prototypes, write on virtual surfaces, interact with complex data, and communicate through realistic avatars. Augmented reality could place digital colleagues and objects directly inside a person's physical environment. A designer in Germany, an engineer in Japan, and a client in the United States might interact with the same virtual model as though they were standing around the same table. Artificial intelligence could also reduce the number of meetings required. AI assistants may automatically share updates, identify disagreements, create action plans, and notify people only when a human decision is necessary. This could allow work to become less focused on hours spent inside a building and more focused on results. But the disappearance of the traditional office would not automatically improve everyone's life. Remote work can create isolation. The boundary between professional and personal time can disappear. Young employees may lose opportunities to learn informally from experienced colleagues, and some companies may use digital monitoring tools to track workers more closely than they ever could inside a physical office. Offices will not vanish completely. Laboratories, hospitals, factories, construction sites, studios, and many other workplaces require physical presence. Even companies built around remote work will continue bringing people together for important projects, training, and social connection. What may disappear is the assumption that millions of people must travel to the same building every morning simply to sit in front of a computer. The office of the future may no longer be a permanent destination. It may become a tool that people use only when they genuinely need it. Number 1. Smartphones as we know them. The smartphone may be the most important consumer technology of the modern era. It replaced the camera, map, calendar, music player, calculator, flashlight, alarm clock, television, newspaper, and countless other objects. It became the place where people communicate, work, shop, travel, learn, and entertain themselves. For billions of people, the smartphone is the first object they look at in the morning and the last object they see before going to sleep. And yet, within the next 20 years, the smartphone itself could begin to disappear. Not because people will use less technology, but because technology may no longer need to remain trapped inside a rectangular screen. The first replacement could be advanced augmented reality glasses. Instead of looking down at a phone, users could see navigation instructions, messages, translations, entertainment, and digital information projected directly into their field of vision. A person walking through an unfamiliar city could see directions placed on the street ahead. Looking at a restaurant might reveal its menu, opening hours, and reviews. A conversation between people speaking different languages could be translated in real time. Virtual displays could appear anywhere. A blank wall might become a cinema screen. A table could become a workstation. A person might place multiple digital monitors around a room without owning a single physical display. Artificial intelligence assistants could make traditional apps less important. Today, users open separate applications for banking, shopping, travel, music, email, and hundreds of other services. In the future, a person may simply tell an AI what they want. The assistant could communicate with different systems, compare options, complete tasks, and present only the final result. Instead of opening a travel application, searching for flights, comparing hotels, and entering payment information, a user might simply say, "Plan a 3-day trip to Rome next month within my budget." The artificial intelligence could organize the entire journey. Wearable technology may also become more discreet. Smart rings, watches, earbuds, clothing, and biometric sensors could continuously interact with the digital environment. Eventually, advanced contact lenses might display information directly in front of the eye. Further into the future, brain-computer interfaces could allow people to control technology through neural signals. Although reliable consumer systems may take much longer than 20 years to develop, the disappearance of smartphones would also create new dangers. Augmented reality could place advertising directly into a person's vision. Companies might collect information not only about what users click, but also about what they look at, how they react, and where they move. Constant digital information could make it even harder to disconnect. And if technology becomes invisible, people may no longer realize how often it is influencing their decisions. Smartphones will not suddenly vanish. They will probably become thinner, more flexible, and more powerful before they are replaced. For many years, phones, glasses, wearables, and other devices may exist together, but eventually, carrying a rectangular object and constantly looking down at a screen could seem surprisingly primitive. The smartphone transformed the world by placing the internet inside our pockets. Its successor may transform the world again by placing the internet directly into reality. The future rarely arrives exactly as predicted. Some technologies develop faster than expected. Others face obstacles that delay them for decades. And many objects do not disappear completely. They simply become less common until one generation suddenly realizes that something familiar has almost vanished. Paper receipts may become digital records. Keys and passwords may be replaced by identity systems. Checkout lines could give way to automated stores. Gas stations may transform into electric mobility hubs. Cash could become an emergency backup. Traditional television may dissolve into personalized entertainment. Autonomous vehicles could reduce the need for human drivers. Offices may become optional destinations rather than daily requirements. And smartphones could eventually be replaced by technology integrated directly into the world around us. But every disappearance creates both progress and risk. Convenience can reduce privacy. Automation can eliminate dangerous work while also eliminating jobs. Digital systems can connect billions of people while making society dependent on fragile networks and powerful technology companies. The question is not simply whether these things will disappear. The real question is what will replace them and who will control the systems that take their place. 20 years from now, the world may still look familiar. There will still be homes, roads, shops, workplaces, and entertainment. But the invisible systems surrounding them could be completely different. And many of the objects that define everyday life today may survive only as memories of how the world used to work. Which of these 10 things do you believe will disappear first? And is there something else from everyday life that you think will be gone within the next 20 years? Share your prediction in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this documentary and want to explore more extraordinary technologies, future worlds, and ideas that could transform humanity, subscribe to Beyond Tomorrow Media. Because the future is closer than you think. The future will not remove everything at once. It will happen gradually. One receipt, one key, one password, one screen at a time, until the world we know has quietly disappeared.